And welcome back to the Big Sunday Show. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is back at it again, and he's claiming roads are racist. And he's taking his claim one step further. Take a listen.
We've got a crisis when it comes to roadway fatalities in America. It's a level that's comparable to gun violence. And we see a lot of racial disparities. Black and brown Americans, tribal citizens, and rural residents much more likely to lose their lives, whether it's in a car or as a pedestrian being hit by a car. There are a lot of reasons related to discrimination, even the ways that roads are designed and built. Who has access to a safe street design that's got crosswalks and good lighting, and who doesn't have that access? That can drive disparities.
Well, you know, Griff, I don't say this often, but Secretary Pete and I, we agree on some of this. You know, what he was referencing right there, it's true. The Journal of Preventive Medicine just recently came out showing non-Hispanic blacks have a 73% higher motor vehicle fatality rate than non-Hispanic whites. Non-Hispanic blacks are have a 4 times risk of dying from cycling, twice as high risk while out walking, and twice as much while driving. What do you make of this?
Okay, so there is some truth rooted in his claim, but the problem I have is a transportation secretary who used to be the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, had, when he ran for president, a horrific racial disparity problem and marijuana arrests, and he didn't have a single African-American leader in his administration, and so he was essentially disqualified as a candidate by people like Al Sharpton. Now he's like, no, I've got it done. Now, while there may be some truth in some statistics, good on him for working on it. But here's the other thing. Remember, we were just talking in recent weeks about the fact that he believes that transportation policy is climate policy. So ultimately, if you're taking care of railways and rail cars going off and things like we saw in East Palestine happening, you should be focusing on that rather than looking at issues like climate change and racial disparities. And so it seems it's drifting into maybe there's something there, but way out of your lane.
Yeah, and Tammy, so Buttigieg is launching a $1 billion pilot to build racial equity in the roadways. But let me tell you, so when we're talking about the motor vehicle accidents and deaths that Mayor Pete is talking about, Secretary Pete, excuse me, when you look at it, 90% of all motor vehicle accidents are secondary to speeding, and a huge chunk is also due to driving under the influence. But yet, he is talking about building roadways to connect the poverty areas with the higher economical areas. How is that actually focusing on decreasing the deaths as they pertain to motor vehicle accidents?
Well, what this is a distraction so that you don't look at the economic dynamic of why you can suggest that there's perhaps more accidents for people of color, for Black Americans, because they're further away from their job, because they can't afford to live where their job is, and so they have to drive further. You could argue that there perhaps is more bicycle accidents because some people can't afford cars, or, of course, because of the economy, they can't afford gas. And so you've got gas prices, you've got the job situation, you've got the economy that isolates people in the city versus the suburbs, and the nature of the choices that we have. If you're speeding, if it's because you're a single mom of 2 and you get 3 hours of sleep a night because you have no one to help you and you have no other money, that's what this administration, the Democrats, don't want to address. $1 billion for a pilot. And let me add, and now they're making these regulations to make gas-powered cars, more irrelevant, while the cost of electric vehicles is tens of thousands more than a gasoline-powered car.
But you can't mention that. That goes against the green agenda.
You can't do that. And so if you're driving a car that is, a second-hand car, a used car, the brakes aren't great, you're more inclined to get into an accident because of the condition of the car, now you're not going to have a car because you can't afford the electric vehicle. This is smoke and mirrors. It's a word salad when it comes to policy. It means nothing. It will really help no one. The real help is improving the economy so people of color can make the same kinds of decisions everyone else is making. Trump was on his way to, crushing that wage gap, to increasing wages for everyone. The Democrats now, wages going down, inflation, recession now is expected at the end of the year, will affect people on the margins first, and that means people of color. So don't talk to us about, green roadway bridges. Let's talk about the economy so people can live where they want to live, have decent cars, and have the support they need at home to go to those jobs that they have. Just
well, and we also
outrageous.
had, you made the point about electric vehicles. I think it's an important one because we just saw the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, and there was a study, I believe, by Goldman Sachs projecting that the cost will actually be triple what they told us it would be. Shock of all shocks. But what you saw within that bill was tax credits that can flow to wealthier people to buy expensive cars that lower income people cannot afford, paid for by tax dollars that everyone is forced to put into the pot.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a completely incoherent policy to then see the secretary out there talking about systemic racism in our roads and bridges. And you're right, there is some nuance to that. But then you look at some of their other policy prescriptions in this realm, and it makes no sense when, vis-a-vis what he's talking about. Like, you can talk about history and some of the problems that exist there and, systemic racism or what have you. Ultimately, the policies need to make sense.
Absolutely.
They do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.